Everyone, I'm Brian Easterday, and welcome back to Eye of the Storm Astrology. So in today's video, I'm going to be continuing my series Moon Through the Signs, where I'm looking at Moon through each one of the Rashis, each one of the signs in the zodiac, and the qualities that happen whenever that comes into a birth chart. But before I get into that, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss out on any content that could be helping you turn your challenges into strengths. Now, Moon in the sign of Scorpio, this is a very interesting one because this is technically where the Moon becomes debilitated. But if you're a person with your Moon in Scorpio, don't just immediately get down on that, because I'll just say this right now. In our modern day and age, debilitated planets many times actually perform much better than exalted planets, just depending on the situation and the context and things like that. But this is what it means by Moon being debilitated is the Moon can have a difficult time here. The reason being is that Scorpio is a water sign, and it's ruled by the planet Mars, but it's the feminine or the internal expression of Mars. So it can deal with a lot of intensity, a lot of passion, a lot of deep emotion, those type of things. Scorpio is a sign that, being symbolized by the scorpion, you think about a scorpion, they're always down, like in the ground, in the dirt, in the hole. They're always digging, they're searching, they're down low to the earth. They're finding secret little holes to hide in and things like that. Much in the same way, people with the Moon in Scorpio, they'll be interested in digging into things, investigating things, finding secrets, so looking at anything from, say, like history, or like research into, say, like serial killers, or, on the same side of that, like detectives, they're searching, they're asking for questions, they're trying to uncover like the truth of these heinous crimes or whatever it may be. That's the same type of energy. They're just using it in a very different way. They're using it in a healthy way in that example. It's all about questioning, finding the secret things. It can be a sign that deals with, especially when Moon comes here, it can be a sign that can make someone deal with a lot of depression or other mental health issues, because Scorpio is a sign that symbolizes the darker side of life, the challenging side of life, the taboo side of things. So it can deal with trauma and the unconscious mind and, repressed memories. All of these different types of things can be something that comes up in the sign of Scorpio. So when the Moon comes here, it means that the mind and the emotions, they spend a lot of time dealing with these type of things. And when you have to spend a lot of time kind of focusing on the darker side of life, or how life is constantly changing and it seems so fleeting, that can sometimes like lead to depression until we actually start to learn to work with that energy versus fight it. And this is one of the biggest lessons and biggest tricks for a person with their Moon in Scorpio, or any person with like a lot of 8th house placements, and sharing this from my own personal experience. Learn to work with that energy, and that goes for any placement in chart, but especially here. As long as you're fighting the change in life, as long as you're getting upset every time something isn't going your way, or something suddenly comes up, or you get a challenge and you feel like you get stuck into a victimhood mindset, and you feel like the world is punishing you, or God's punishing you, or whatever your example may be, that if you have that mindset with this placement, you're always going to feel stuck and down, and like you're drowning in your emotions. But if you start looking at it like change is actually the essence of life, that if our seasons didn't change, if the planets didn't move, if all these different things, if we didn't have cycles of wet and dry and all this, life couldn't actually exist on our planet. So seeing that and seeing the beauty in it versus just the, nothing's going my way type of attitude, that's a much healthier way to approach this. Then you'll start seeing very, very deep lessons everywhere you look. And this is one of the amazing gifts with the Moon in Scorpio, is the ability to see that which is unseen, the ability to look into the occulted things in life, into magic and astronomy, and to find those hidden secrets, to be able to intuitively pick up on what's going on. Like people with Moon and Scorpio, they can almost be like a human lie detector. Like they can really tell when you're not being honest with them because they can just feel. They can just feel, they can sense that there's something there. They tend to be extremely perceptive people. They'll be very loyal people when it comes to friendships, relationships, things like that. But if they feel like someone betrayed them, that sharpness of Mars, that anger can come out. Like you think about a scorpion, it's just this little creature, but it does have pincers and it does have a stinger. And while that stinger may be like the smallest amount of venom, but it might be enough to kill you. So they have that ability to have like a stinger. So if they feel upset or like they've been slighted or something like that, and they use that stinger, they'll be able to, like, for example, perceive how someone is thinking, like psychologically on the inside, and say that, oh, I know exactly what to say to just make this person feel like they've been poisoned, to make them feel a lot of pain. Now, our strengths can be our weaknesses and our weaknesses are strengths. That same ability to perceive how a person is thinking, to see where their pain points are, you could use in an unhealthy way to hurt them, to exploit them. Or if you're using it in a healthy expression, you could see that, oh, I see this person may need some area of work in here, or maybe they're having some issues with confidence. So rather than shitting on them, I'm going to try to like figure out ways to help bring them up. Being able to perceive those and those areas that need work on in other people and help them with that, that's the healthy way to use that perception. So that's a lesson for people with Moon and Scorpio, is how to wield that power correctly. Another thing is that they can be very, very harsh on themselves because it's the internal expression of Mars. So whereas like Aries will take that energy and go externally with it, they'll go outwards towards the world. Scorpio kind of will take that inwards. So they can be very self-critical, harsh on themselves, you know, just those different types of things. So that can be something that if you have your Moon in Scorpio, keep that in mind. Maybe not be so harsh on yourself. Like maybe make sure you clear your waters before you're trying to see your reflection. What I mean by that is, I've spoken about in previous videos, like I did with the Moon in Cancer. The different water signs could be Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. They could be seen like this. Cancer being like the coastal waters, the shorter, you know, not shallow waters, not the deep ocean, just the coastal waters. Scorpio, on the other hand, is like the swamp. If you're trying to see your reflection in like dirty water, it's going to be very hard to do. But why is a swamp that way? Well, because the water tends to become very stagnant. There's not a lot of oxygen or flow in it. It's not really necessarily running in the healthiest way possible. If you're looking at getting water to the optimum amount of health, you know, and water being the metaphor for our emotions here. So you have to filter that water, filter your emotions, get it clean, get it moving, learn to work with those in a healthy way, not just internalize them and let them stay there, because then it becomes stagnant, it becomes like a swamp. You have to keep those cycling and flowing like water should be. Keep it oxygenated with critical thinking, add that air element in there. That way it's actually clean, clear water that's nourishing. You know, like you imagine wanting to drink out of a swamp, you don't want that, right? You want to be able to have cleaner water. So work on that process of clearing out the emotions, keeping them clean, because then you'll be able to have a clearer reflection of yourself and of others as well. So that's something to keep in mind with Moon and Scorpio. So that's going to wrap up this video, guys. I just wanted to do a quick one here, laying some just foundational concepts. And keep in mind, when I'm doing any of these videos that's just like moon in a certain sign or a planet in a sign or whatever it is, I'm talking about simply the qualities of that planet and that sign at the same time, or whatever the example is. Never take just one thing a person says and judge a whole chart off of that. The chart has to be looked at holistically and completely, and all things need to be considered, and then all those different variables weighed together. The purpose of this video series is simply to isolate the qualities of the moon and the qualities of a sign, and then to put those together just to see what those two flavors taste like together. That doesn't mean there's no other flavor in the dish, in the chart, right? You have to take those into consideration as well. We're just focusing on a specific area, so keep that in mind. If you found this valuable, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way, you, like I said, you don't miss out on anything that could be helping you turn your challenges into strengths. If you need to get into contact with me for consultations, courses, or anything like that, you can click the link in the description below. That goes to my link tree, and that will take you to all my different, website, social media, email, all that different stuff. So that's going to be available there. So thank you for tuning in, guys. Remember, by creating more awareness, we create more opportunities to be the best version of ourselves. I'll see you guys next time.